Fish Report Live starts now.
Jan Cornejo, Latinoamérica. Fish Report Live comienza ahora.
Hanging at the fish report. 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 For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. You got Craig and TK and FFD tuned in at the fish report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Tune in to the fish report.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live. My name is Craig Fissinger. Of course, that's Ken Francis. And tonight we have TK and Heavy D in Studio F. They're out of the sound room tonight. And that's because tonight is show number 100. Going to be doing things a little bit differently tonight. No athlete interviews, not calling any coaches. Instead, we're going to look back on the last 4 seasons, the last 100 episodes of Fish Report Live. Guys, I can't believe it's got this far. How about you?
Well, you know, guys, it's been 99 shows in the books, number 100 tonight, our 4th season, Craig, and we've come a long way since the milk crate, the laptop, and the little photos we used to hold up by hand. So it's been a lot of fun. I had made a couple nice acquisitions with the sound room with TK and Heavy D, and, you know, we got little Ross back there helping us out again tonight. So just been real special 4 years and hopefully many more to come.
How about you guys? You think you'd be to 100 shows?
Yeah, when I first saw the Fish Report studio a couple years back, I'm like, not sure about this. But then got the call to be on Fish Report, and it was that was pretty special being with you guys. And absolutely yes was the answer for that one. And it's come a long way in the last couple of years.
When I saw some of the first shows and I saw the bobblehead doll, I wasn't sure how far it would go, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm glad to be in the sound room now. Got off the streets. I was doing the on-the-road reports after games and made it all the way to the sound room and having fun.
All right, well, we're going to be talking about you two guys a little bit later when you did join the show. But I got to say, one of the questions I get asked most is about our studio. And people, when they're watching us on the show, they say, boy, you must have a big studio there. And then they come to the studio and they actually find out how small it is. Guys, I know you're kind of cramped in back there. The temperature ever get a little warm back in the sound room?
We open the door, 2-3 times a show, and pretty good chance I know what Tim's had for dinner on a regular basis. So it gets warm back there.
Even in the dead of winter, I think we wear shorts back there, so it stays cozy.
And flip-flops.
Well, I've said it before, Craig, this is one of the few jobs that you can come to and wear flip-flops and shorts and, you know, just have a lot of fun. So I remember, Craig, when we first started, we didn't even have any Studio F and all. So, you know, we had to move some of your refrigerators and all that stuff to make room for the important stuff.
Well, speaking of the cramped quarters and the coming to work in your bare feet, let's take a look at a few scenes from behind the camera at Fish Report.
Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live. I'm Craig Fissinger. That's Ken Francis. We're your host, and back in our sound room, TK and Heavy D are back there like they are every week, and we'll be talking to them just a little bit later in the show.
Really looking forward to tonight's show.
A lot of postseason talk to talk about, and yeah, I can't wait to start getting into that. But before
Forward to talking to Jackson Center volleyball coach Kim Metz. She's been extremely successful over there this year, as well as heading up the court recovery.
TK, you pretty much been on this show since the beginning. You made your debut back on episode number 7 back in the winter of 2011. What do you remember about those days being a sideline reporter for us and maybe some of the technology back then?
Obviously, the technology's moved a little bit forward so far, a little different than what we have now with the Bluetooth back in the sound room. I always had to find a nice spot in the gym or in a hallway to call in. Sometimes had to drive a little bit and then make your phone calls in, but we always got her done.
Well, I remember you gave us that report from Jackson Center Jim, and Ken and I were like, boy, this guy's impressive. He knows his stuff. Gave us one heck of a sports report or a recap of the game. And then we knew we had our man when you finished it up with your food review from the Jackson Center concession stand.
Oh, nothing better than the Big Cat at Jackson Center. It's a shame they got rid of it. I always enjoyed that ride out there to get the Big Cat and watch a little sports.
That was probably one of the last times they had the Big Cat was that night.
Yeah, I was there for a volleyball game a couple weeks ago, and they had an imitation Big Cat. It wasn't the same.
No, it's not the same anymore.
Well, let's look back on that clip of TK and his debut on Fish Report. All right, TK, can you give us a report on tonight's game at the Habitat of the Cat in Jackson Center?
The Raiders pulled away with the 53-47 victory at Jackson Center tonight. Brooke Richards, she is the real deal. Craig and Ken, if you're a fan of basketball, she is a must-see. If she's anywhere near you, go out and see her play. She poured in 28 points tonight with a stiff defense really focused on her. She still put that much in. But the Raiders, they answered with the freshman Kylie Wilson putting in 23 for the Raiders to just about compensate for what Richards put in.
My other big question is, did you get a moment to head over to the concession stand? And if you did you have a Big Cat?
Of course, I had the Big Cat, yeah. And after you have the Big Cat, the game's just like a little extra on top. They're as good as ever.
Well, Heavy D, we added you back on show number 28. We realized that we needed another good man in the sound room, and we knew the great guy to get with you, and we knew you could add some humor into the show as well as some life back into that sound room. So tell us about your experiences with Fish Report and how the feedback is out there in the field.
Yeah, when I got the call to the big leagues, I thought, you know what, we needed intro for the show. And coming home from work into my cell phone, it took me 32 times for the intro to get it just right. And when I finally had it right, I pronounced it Fissinger instead of Fissinger. I said, that's good enough, that's close enough. Craig understands. But I about put it in the side ditch about 4 times trying to get that take right. And I came up with Studio F. I'm not sure why, but it sounded right.
Well, you did a good job, and I laugh every time we listen to that intro, Heavy D. And like I said, you added a lot of excitement into the sound room, and if nothing else, just make Fish Report show a lot more enjoyable for all three of us.
Yeah, it's a good Wednesday night. Yep.
I think somebody asked me one time. They said, "How does he get that intro the same every week? How does he?" They thought he was doing it live, I believe. So, well, let's take a look at some of Heavy D's lighter moments on Fish Report over the last several years. Oh, Ken, we actually have another guy in the sound booth this week. We actually added a new guy, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We hired a guy by the name of Heavy D, and this guy just knows a lot about sports, and we're excited to have him as part of our team.
Heavy D, why don't you tell the Fish Report viewers hi out there?
I'm really excited to be here tonight, guys, and I got a few butterflies, but we'll get through them.
All right, well, let's go back in the booth. You guys got anything in the wide world of sports?
Just a couple shout-outs tonight, Craig. Not so much sports, but being ladies' night, I want to give a shout-out to the love of my life, Foxy H. Keeps it all together for me. And also, I noticed on the Fish Report telemetrics that we have someone that's tuning in from Berlin, Germany. So it's, I think it's morning there. So, hallo, guten Morgen, Deutschland.
How about you? Any tricks you like to do out there on the slopes?
I'm flipping out on the backside, butt slides, blowing kisses to all the Arctic Cougars out there. It gets crunchy.
Whoa, Arctic Cougars, crunchy?
Backside butt slides.
Those guys are good.
All right, guys, and one other guy that's been a part of this team for all these years is a guy that made his debut back in the beginning. He started out as our water boy. Now he's kind of works in the sound room whenever we need him, and that's Ross Fissinger.
Yes, he does. He's been a great fill-in for us, Craig and Heavy D and TK, and he fills their shoes once in a while. One thing he always does for me that I always appreciate, Craig, is he makes sure that my footrest is always here underneath that table, so I got someplace to rest my feet. So thanks a lot, Ross, for all the good help you've always done for us over the many years.
And we kind of watched him grow up in the show a little bit. I know he's sat back there with Heavy D and TK on a few occasions, and I don't know if he gets in the way or helps out, but he joins you back there every once in a while. He
knows his stuff. There's a lot of buttons back there to push, and he pushes the right buttons.
All right, well, let's take a look at Ross and some of his moments over the years.
Well, you know what? It's time tonight we put this guy on the show. We've got TK, the correspondent. We've got Big Dog. We've got other people out there. The guy behind the scenes for us is none other than
Come on back.
Ross Fissinger. We'd really like to thank Ross for all the work he does in our show. And here he is. Ross, give it here.
This guy takes care of getting us our water. He lets us know when our sound isn't working. So he really he makes us look as good as we do, doesn't he, Ken?
That's right. That's right.
You want to say hi to the viewers, Ross?
Hi.
All right, Heavy D is really not back there by himself. We got a special a guy that, he's usually our water boy and our maintenance man and does a little bit of everything over here. But tonight he's actually helping Heavy D back in the sound room. So
I couldn't see him. He was a little short there. I couldn't quite see that guy back there.
But,
Hello, guys out there.
But so we'll.
I guess he's our sound guy. Let's check on him back in the sound room. Ross, how's it going back there?
It's doing pretty well. I mean, I've been working out there, and I got my friend Julie who was doing the phone calls, and shout out to her. So
you did a great job back there, Ross. Good job. Guys, there's one other guest that we don't want to forget about, Craig, and he's been a big helper for us for years, and that's Big Dog. Big Dog, he's kind of our high school sports basketball analyst. He knows a heck of a lot about high school basketball, boys and girls both. He's had a very interesting career in sports, and I'd just like to thank him for all the work he's done for us on Fish Report Live over the years.
Yeah, I've known Big Dog pretty much all my life, and since he was about the age of 1.5, he's had a subscription to Sports Illustrated, and he keeps up on stuff.
Yeah, he knows the stuff. Like I said, he's got a great website, mattstats.com. You can go to and find out past scores from way back. So, again, thanks for all the work he's done.
Yeah, I've used that website a lot, and he kind of started out on this show as a little bit of a mystery guest. We weren't revealing who it was. Had a few people ask me, "Who's Big Dog?" And then, as the interviews went on, I think he's been one of the most interviewed guys on our show, one of our longest guests, I guess. And we kind of revealed him a little bit later over the years as Matt Zerker, and everyone knows him as a writer for the Sydney paper and the sports information director at Wright State, and he's done a good job for the show.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to talking to Big Dog here, Craig. Probably be in a couple of weeks to start our high school basketball season. I assume we'll have the Big Dog on there sometime soon.
No doubt.
Hi, Big Dog. Ken Francis.
Hey, how are you tonight?
Very good.
First of all, we want to welcome you to the team. And before we get started, we want to let our viewers out there know that you're not just some ordinary SCL fan out there, and you do have a little background in hoops. You mind telling the viewers exactly what your expertise is or what your background is?
All right. Well, I'm kind of probably about 30 years experience. Did basketball, volleyball, and baseball at a school here in the area. In high school, I saw both of you guys play during your heyday. Then I worked in the sports information office at UD as a student, and I've been at Wright State now for 19 years.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Big Dog, our new boys correspondent, and like we just said, we look forward to talking to him in the weeks to come. All right, Big Dog, that's some good stuff. Hey, I want to thank you for reporting from Press Row for us. I imagine you're still there right now, aren't you?
Yeah, like I said, we just got done probably about 15 minutes ago. It's me and about 5-10 fans here left and the trash people, so I think it's getting about time to head out.
It's been a year since my baby finally gave up on me. I can't say that I'll blame her. She just got tired of playing a losing game. I should succumb my pride and beg that girl to come back home. Deep down I know she's better off, 'cause fools like me are meant to die alone. Someone give me one good reason, one good reason to smile. I'm trying
Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of Fish Report Live. Tonight, we're going back over the last 4 seasons, the last 100 episodes of our show. And guys, one thing I enjoy about this show the most is going out there and actually talking to the athletes when we go out there and do interviews out in the field.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I remember at Tiffin one year, we tracked down Corey Glines right in the middle of his cool-down run after their team may have even won, but I'm not sure. But we grabbed him right in the middle of his cool-down run, and Ken said, "Get over here, Corey, we need an interview." And he said, "Yeah, sure, I'll be on your show." I knew from then we were going to have a good time.
Yeah, he did very well that year, and as a matter of fact, runs for the University of Michigan now.
Yeah, checking the records, we've done over 350, almost 400 interviews with coaches and area athletes over the last couple of years.
That's a bunch of them.
Yeah, we as reporters, we make the most of our mistakes as well. Sometimes, Craig, we forget their names. Sometimes we forget who we're talking to. Sometimes we forget what we're even talking about. But we've had bloopers of our own, and we're going to show some of them to you right now.
Fish Report Live here at Covington with
Rishi Jr., golfer. Jonah.
All right, we're here now with senior Taylor Yeah, let me start that over again. We're here at McBose Lanes in Versailles with Start that over again. We're here at McBose Lanes in Versailles with your teammate Lauren Sees. How important is she for your personal success?
Christina.
I'm sorry, Christina. Yeah, Christina. Lauren's let me start that one over again. Your teammate Lauren Sees. Christina. All right, Christina. Olivia, not only did you finish first in the 300 last week, but your teammate Julia Slonkoski actually set a meet record in the 800. All right, let me try it again. Okay. Olivia, not only did you finish first last week in the 300 hurdles, but your teammate Julia. Ken, I think those were the only mistakes we ever made.
Well, I don't know about that. Those are just the ones that were showing them tonight, but we may have made a few more than that, but not very many.
I'll tell you what, the athletes make a few mistakes themselves.
Tu nombre y si te...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Whenever you're ready.
Dale, duro.
Jan Cornejo, Latinoamérica.
I'm Morgan Doherty, Rushi Bowler at senior high school.
Hi, I'm Darian Rose.
And I'm Renee Meyer.
We're seniors on the Fort Lauderdale Festival. Crap.
Hi, my name's Jake Braun. I'm a senior at Houston High School in
Hi, I'm Katie Heckman.
And I'm Krista Putoff. We're basketball players at Versailles High School.
And
Fish Report Live starts now. We messed up.
I did mess up.
We're the Rushi Girls golf team.
Oh, shoot.
All right, one thing we've done on this show, guys, is we've had a few special Fish Report Live episodes over the year. Heavy D, any particular ones that you remember?
It's got to be Heavy D's outdoor adventure. For some reason, I decided to wear the thermal underwear to the show, and that didn't work out real well. But it made it all better when Ken smelled the doe urine.
That's right. How about you, TK? What about you?
Well, one of mine was when we went on the road to St. Remy Hall and did the Catholic Fish Report show, which was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we did have some technical errors, and we didn't get that one recorded as well as we wanted to, so we couldn't share it with the audience, but was a lot of fun.
That was a packed house there. I remember that's the biggest live audience we've ever played in front of, and we did get a lot of requests afterward. There's like, did you record that? And unfortunately, never got it recorded.
One show I remember was when we brought the show on the road to Cruisers. And I believe we had the Rushi High School girls basketball team on, and had a big crowd on Cruisers that night. And that was our first road broadcast, the first time we've tested out the Wi-Fi equipment, if you would, and worked great, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, I've enjoyed those special shows. I've also enjoyed, we've had some guest hosts over the years that helped us out when one of the guys was out. And let's take a look back at some of those specials and some of those guest hosts we've had.
We switched roles a little bit here. We took Heavy D out of the sound room. We threw Craig into the sound room, and myself, I'm in my normal spot, just a little camouflage. You might not be able to see me.
You look good, Ken.
Here with me tonight, I've got Botkins High School cross-country and track coach Ryan Gutman. Ryan is filling in for Craig tonight, and special guest, special college report with some kids tonight. And Ryan, thank you for taking time out and joining us on our show.
I'll tell you, Ken, it is a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to talking to the ex-athletes here from the county. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
No, you do not need to adjust your monitors. That is not Ken Francis. Ken has actually taken the week off. The last I heard, he was stuck on the sea somewhere, but I think he actually got rescued. He's back in his room, but very happy to have tonight with us the head girls track coach for West Liberty Salem, actually the head girls cross country coach as well, Mrs. Ann Vogel. Coach, welcome to Fish Report Live.
Hi, Craig. Thanks for having me.
No, we're not live at Studio F, Ken. We're actually live here at Cruisers in Russia tonight. Great crowd. What do you think of our first ever Cruisers gig?
Craig, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We've been looking forward to this moment for a long time. We've been stuck in Studio F down there for a while, and we finally got the roadshow equipment running, and it's great to be in Cruise.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I've got some big shoes to fill tonight. Ken, you're a legend.
Guys, that was a lot of fun stuff we did, and a lot of hard work, but fun stuff in the end, and some late nights, but always worth it.
Well, you know what else is fun stuff? I remember some shows where I actually was catching touchdown passes, or maybe not touchdown passes, but passes from quarterback Seth Giozzi and also Adam Berkey over at Marin Local. That was good stuff.
That was good, Craig, but I remember throwing a touchdown pass to Tennessee Volunteer star freshman tight end Ethan Wolf during his days at Minster, and he still says today that was one of the tightest spirals he ever had to catch.
Yeah, and I liked watching Paige Ordine throw that fastball into the Fish Report camera, and all the dunks over the years. Pretty good stuff.
Well, let's take a look back at some of those touchdown passes and some of those dunks.
Well, don't go anywhere because Fish Report is coming right back.
And Fish Report Live starts now.
Congratulations, Fish Report Live, on your 50th episode.
Starts now.
You know, one thing about all those dunks and all those passes is sometimes it takes a couple takes before you get those right.
Yes, it does. You never know when you're going to get an unexpected interruption or something to stop the video while you're just beginning.
Of all the courses you run this season, which is your favorite and why?
I love West Milton because it's not going to be easy for either team to come out on top, and I think for us to
let's start that one over.
Still working on that, so.
And not too much longer. You're going to be.
And I think it's shown in our energy.
All right. Up against an Anna team that was pretty good.
Well, it was definitely in the back of our minds because we didn't want to be the ones to screw that streak up.
Hang on, let's get the V out of here.
Yeah, we mentioned, guys, the almost 400 interviews we've done with the coaches and student athletes. Anyone of those stand out for you guys?
One that stands out for me, it wasn't necessarily an athlete right now. It's Dave Ross, Sydney native and a big sports promoter and a fan of sports all around. As some of you know, we do a pre-show talk, and I think Dave Ross is the only interview that almost made the show late to start because he had so many stories to tell us. But a great interview and a great guy.
Yeah, and I remember we had referee Terrell Collier on the show, and come to find out that I was actually wrong a few times when I was yelling at the referees during the basketball games.
A lot of the ones that stick out in my mind, guys, are the ones with the Rushi athletes. We've had some of our own kids on the show, which is real special for all of us, as well as, state champions on the show. I remember going back and not just the Rushi state champions, but all the state champions that we've had on our show. I hate to guess how many we've had, but it's got to be 15, 20 at least different state champions that we've that have appeared on Fish Report Live.
You know, I know a lot of times when we interview athletes, we try to lean towards the seniors just because they've been around for a while and the whole maturity thing. But one that kind of sticks out in my mind was last year we interviewed a freshman golfer over there, Emily Knopf, and you know, we'd never spoken to her before. She had just got home about an hour before our interview, just got home from a golf match, and I was kind of going into this thinking this might be a disaster, but nothing could have been further from the truth. She happens to be a freshman, believe it or not. Emily Knopf there from Fort Laramie. I believe we have her live on the phone. Emily, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Emily, compare Pipestone today versus some of the local courses that you've played, whether it's Arrowhead or Shelby Oaks, and what you expect to see at Columbus next week on that course.
Well, Pipestone definitely has some faster greens than the courses around here. They also have some bent fairways. Or bent grass fairways. Luckily, last night I was able to go play Pickwick Country Club, which was huge to my advantage. My swing coach, Nate Fridley, got to take me over there, and it was very similar to Pipestone, which was great practice. And today, going into it, I felt pretty confident. I'd like to thank Nate for bringing me over yesterday and Rob Fridley for helping me throughout the season. Next week, I expect to see some pretty fast greens in Columbus, and I think it'll be a tough course.
Ken, a freshman for the Fort Laramie Redskins, and she'll be one of the lone representatives over there in Columbus next week.
Yes, she will. And I tell you what, Craig, she doesn't golf like a freshman, nor does she interview like a freshman. I was very impressed with that young lady. Speaking of memorable interviews, guys, one that really sticks out in my mind is Louis Vito. You know, this guy's a U.S. Olympian. He's an ESPN analyst. He's been on Dancing with the Stars. And, you know, after talking to him a couple times and actually interviewing him on our show, we come to find out he's just a normal guy like we are.
Yeah, that was a pretty big interview, and I remember right before the show we made the decision to go, I think, high definition on that show, and we did something with that bandwidth knob, and it kept cutting out on us, and I tell you what, TK, we were sweating bullets back in the sound room.
One other thing I remember about that show, that was probably the show I had to do the most research for because I didn't know anything about half pipes, but I learned a lot about it before that show.
Yeah, I don't think Louis quite knew what a Fish Report Live was, but he was sure generous to come on our show, and it was a great interview. And Ken, before the break, we were talking about Louis Vito. Let's quit talking about him and talk to him. How about that?
That sounds great to me.
All right, we're happy to have him live on the phone right now. Louis, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Louis, hi, this is Ken. You're a 2010 Olympian. You've won multiple times at the X Games, the U.S. Grand Prix, the Dew Tour. What's driving you right now in snowboarding?
Everything. It's a pretty new sport, so you can always be learning something new and perfecting something, adding different style to something, and just waking up every day in the mountains and getting to go snowboard with your friends. It's like that's my office is these gorgeous mountains, and I get to spend it every day with some of my closest friends. Anytime you guys need an interview, you give me a call, and maybe I'll see you guys back in Ohio. And remember, go Bucks!
Hey, thanks a lot, Louis, and good luck to you in the snowboarding competitions and in your career.
Hey, thank you guys very much. Have a good night.
That's about going to wrap it up for us tonight, guys. Any final thoughts on 100 shows?
Well, the person I'd really like to thank is the guy sitting to my left. Craig, if it wasn't for you, this probably would have never started, and you do a lot of the work behind the scenes for this, and it's like, us three a lot of times just show up and all the work's already done, and we go have ourselves a Spitzler and jump on the show, and we're good to go.
I tell you, if it wasn't for you guys, I think we probably would have ended this thing after about episode 5, so the feeling mutual.
I'd like to also thank you guys for putting in the sound room and getting me off the streets. It's a lot nicer back there where I can relax a little bit instead of running around the county every night.
We just got to work on some air conditioning for you back there.
Yeah, and back there, I tell you what, appreciate the sound room addition and the McDonald's window, and peek in and check on the water boy and make sure he's behaving himself, and it's a lot of fun back there.
All right, we're going to be back again with our regular show, same time, same place, and as we leave you tonight, we're going to show you some clips of some of the lighter singing moments on Fish Report Live and some of the maybe a little sadder moments at Fish Report Live. Until then, everyone have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Happy birthday, dear Fish Report. Happy birthday to us.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But watch the Fish Report for cross-country results daily.
He's going to have to learn how to sing. He's going to have to learn how to sing Rocky Top.
Oh, yeah, I guess he will.
You know, Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me.
Go ahead, Ken. Do it. I can't do it. Go ahead. This is actually not only your daughter's last state meet, but it's actually going to be your last state meet as a dad of a runner over there. What's it going to be like for you?
You trying to make me break down on the show? But give us your honest opinion. Of us four, which one of us is your favorite?
Oh, well, I think I'm going to have to go with Heavy D back there in the sound room. Just because ever since I was little, he's been coaching me and pushing me and just making me be the best I can be on and off the court.
We kind of knew that one was coming, didn't we, Ken?
We did.
You know what? On Fish Report Live, every milestone's important, but for the 100th show, Kate Sherman provided us with the 100-episode Fish Report Live goggles and glasses, and thanks Kate Sherman for that. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Kate.
I think it's the standard equipment from here on out. So.
I think you're missing a lens.
Hanging at the Fish Report. 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 For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the Fish Report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the Fish Report, hanging at the Fish